आदमी छी यहाँ काम दू हम काम करके दिखाई काम करेला देवे यहाँ सब जेना काठमांडू महानगरपालिका के वासी हमरा काम करेला दिल के हम काम करके देखेली यहाँ सब काम करेला देवे
Nepal is set for a dramatic political shift as Balendra Shah prepares to take oath as the country's new Prime Minister this Friday, 27th March. In a development that has captured attention across South Asia, the rapid-turned politician, popularly known as Balen, is now poised to lead Nepal at a time of deep political churn and public demand for change. This moment is not just about a new Prime Minister. It marks the rise of a completely new kind of leadership in Nepal. Balendra Shah's party, the Rastriya Swatantra Party, is barely 3 years old. Yet, it has achieved a stunning landslide victory in 5th March general elections. This result reflects a powerful public sentiment, especially among young voters who are increasingly frustrated with traditional political elites and long-standing instability. The election itself came against the backdrop of massive anti-corruption protests that shook the nation just months ago. Led largely by Gen Z demonstrators, these protests turned violent, leaving 77 people dead and ultimately forcing the collapse of the previous government. So when voters went to the polls, the message was clear. They wanted change, and they wanted it fast. And that change has come in the form of a leader who does not fit the conventional political mold. Before entering politics, Balendra Shah was one of Nepal's most recognized rap artists. Inspired by global icons like Tupac Shakur and 50 Cent, Shah used music as a platform to speak about social inequality, governance failures, and youth frustration. His lyrics resonated with a generation that felt unheard. Over time, that connection transformed into political capital. Interestingly, Shah's journey into politics has been swift but strategic. He officially joined the Rastriya Swatantra Party only in December 2025, just months before the elections. But his public image, built over years as an outspoken artist and later as Kathmandu's mayor, gave him a strong foundation. As mayor, he had already gained attention for his anti-corruption stance and direct communication style. That reputation followed him into national politics, where voters saw him as a symbol of accountability and transparency. Now, as he prepares to take charge as Prime Minister, expectations are sky-high. Nepal has struggled with frequent government changes, coalition instability, and policy paralysis for years. Shah's biggest challenge will be to bring stability while delivering on the promises that brought him to power. Key issues on his agenda are expected to include tackling corruption at all levels of governance, strengthening economic growth and job creation, addressing youth unemployment, reforming public institutions. But perhaps the most important task will be restoring public trust in the political system. There's also a larger narrative unfolding here. Balendra Shah's rise represents a global trend where outsiders, influencers, and non-traditional figures are entering politics and reshaping leadership norms. From music to governance, his journey reflects how digital-era popularity can translate into real-world political power. However, the transition from stage to statecraft is never easy. Running a country demands more than public appeal. It requires negotiation, policy expertise, and the ability to manage complex geopolitical relationships, especially for a country like Nepal, which sits between regional giants India and China. For now, though, the focus is firmly on Friday's swearing-in ceremony. All eyes will be on Kathmandu as Balendra Shah takes oath, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Nepal's political history. A chapter driven not by legacy politics, but by a wave of youth energy, public anger, and the promise of transformation. The big question now is, can Balendra Shah deliver on that promise? Because while winning an election is one thing, governing a nation is an entirely different challenge.